We are sticking with the grass, but moving over to the women's now. And Coco Gauff is back in action after winning Roland Garros. We know she likes the grass as well. Will Sabalenka get some revenge?
Right, from London to Berlin on the women's, and we've just had London packed up, and now we're straight over to Germany, and we've got the big hitters. Sabalenka's there, Coco Gauff's there, and last year's champion is there, Jessica Pegula. But we've also got some big hitters in Kim Win-jung, and Jelena Rybakina is in the draw too. This one super stacked for Berlin, and will give us a good idea who's going to be one of the real contenders for Wimbledon, which is only now, a week or so away.
Yeah, and you forgot someone very important in that list you named. You named pretty much half of the draw, but you missed out the greatest tennis player of this year, of the last few years, one of my favourites, one of the most versatile tennis players there is. Of course it is Jasmine Paolini, the fourth seed. We've seen her get to a final of Wimbledon. We know she can play on every surface. And here she is, the fourth seed for Berlin now. So she's going to have her own quarter. And this is going to be our draw preview. Of course, Sabalenka is the favourite, but we've seen a wobble from her in that final of Roland Garros. She said it was a terrible performance from herself. I think that's a little bit harsh, and I think you've got to give more credit to Coco than Saba in the sense that Coco, I believe, forced the errors out of her. As much as they were unforced in the nature, but by Sabalenka, I think Coco brought that game of Saba out of her by playing just really defensive, tactical, clever tennis. And she knew exactly when to attack. She was fantastic. I thought it was a brilliant game plan. And Coco Gauff has gone up in my estimations massively. If you look at this event over the years, you can see it's been a mixed bag winning it. You rarely get the same champion. We've had Ons Jabeur in 2022. She's in this event as a lucky loser. She lost in qualifying, but she's in. Kvitova in 23 and Pegula 24 with Samsonova in 2021. Before that, no players are playing anymore.
Yeah, exactly right. We got Amelie Mauresmo back there. Saw her on court for Rafa's farewell at Roland Garros. Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't think that you can look too much into the fact that Sabalenka hit all of those unforced errors. I think Coco Gauff handling her nerve in big moments is the big thing really to take away from Roland Garros. And that's the one thing that Sabalenka needs to work on. So she'll be looking towards these next couple of tournaments to see if she can get back in the right headspace and start winning tennis matches in a more convincing fashion, because when the errors are flying, she looks like she could lose to, I wouldn't say anyone, but anyone's inside like the top 10 maybe. And Coco Gauff especially, she seems to have a number in big matches. So if they meet in a final, which is the only place they could meet in this tournament, expect Coco to fancy her chances again. So let's move over to the draw. But I will flick between some of the rankings as well, because there's a very, very interesting first round matchup here, and you will spot it straight away. But yeah, I couldn't believe Ons Jabeur lost in the qualifying, and now she's back in the draw again. She got bageled in the last set by Jinyu Wang. You can see there, it was 6-1, 3-6, 6-love. So not sure how well she's going to do in this tournament based off that result, but let's go down the draw. There are a lot of qualifiers in the top section, so we will tell you who they are. And Sabalenka is our number one seed.
Yeah, Jabeur's nowhere near the level. I just don't think she's a very good player at the moment, and someone who I would not consider to be winning any events. But saying that, let's go through it. So you've got the qualifiers. You'll have to list them off. Let me bring mine up as well.
No problem.
Sabalenka will be playing, she's got a bye, so it'll be qualifier 1 versus qualifier 2.
That's Kenin or Masarova. So I would assume probably Sofia Kenin. She looks like she did pretty well in the qualifying, but obviously both players did qualify, but it's difficult to pick. Tomova or Siniakova in the next one. Difficult to pick. I could probably go Siniakova. And this is the big one. This is in Sabalenka's section. This is the dangerous floater that she is now, dropping down the rankings, as I predicted. Jelena Rybakina. Will she cruise back up? She's now playing Kim Win-jung. And Jung's gone up the rankings, and this is what she gets as a reward. Jelena Rybakina in the first round of a grass court tournament. That's the worst draw I think you could get.
Yeah, it really is tough. I'm going to be backing Jelena Rybakina to beat King Wing-jung, though.
I am as well. Yeah, I think it's a great call. I think that they're both good, but Rybakina's serve is just next level on this surface. Yeah, I just think it's a nightmare draw for Kim Win-jung and not what she would have wanted coming into this tournament. Obviously, I believe she just played in London in the last event.
Yeah.
And she went out to Anisimova, who I believe she was in the final but lost the final. And we got to give some credit to obviously Tatiana Maria, who we spoke about fairly recently, saying she's only really good on the grass, and she's proven it again.
Well, she was good at that one Wimbledon when we were there, but definitely not someone who I think is going to have a big Wimbledon coming up. Paolini, as much as you're saying it's a tough draw for King Wing-jung, it's definitely tough for Rybakina.
Yeah.
She'd have to play a Saba early, and then maybe a Paolini as well, because Paolini, what would that be? Maybe a semi-final matchup? I think so.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
if so, yeah. Well, she always loses to Paolini. It doesn't matter what the surface. Dollarhide versus Jabeur. I think as much as I've been saying bad things about Jabeur, I think she'll have enough to beat Dollarhide. So very unlucky for Dollarhide, who's actually qualified. He's going to lose to the lucky loser, in my opinion.
I'm not so sure. I don't know what level Jabeur's on. I'll probably have her going out here. I don't know I think she's low on confidence, to be honest, at the moment. Dollarhide's a bit of a up and down player, but sometimes pulls out a big result here and there.
Beckett, brilliant on the grass. I really like her. Diana Snyder doing better and having a great few seasons. We've both got her inside the top 10, but I reckon Vekic will win. And I'll have Keys beating Vondrausova. I think she is a top 5 player in the world on grass, without a doubt. And Madison Keys has a chance to win Wimbledon this year.
Wow. She's done well at the slams, hasn't she? So, and grass will really translate well with her powerful game. I think Schneider will knock out Vekic here. I'm going to go for a little bit. I don't know if that's an upset. She's probably the higher ranked player, but yeah, it's a very close match. Vondrausova, former champ of Wimbledon. Yeah, I'd have Keys knocking her out as well. Andreeva to beat Freck. Anisimova, Andreescu. Could that be a potential banana skin for Anisimova, who's been in very good form?
Everything's a banana skin with you, isn't it? You've been playing too much Mario Kart.
It definitely is. I like a banana skin.
I'm having Anisimova beat Andreescu. No banana skin for me. I'll go Osaka to beat Samsonova. Pegula with the bye.
I'm going to have Samsonova to beat Osaka here.
Badosa to beat Lees.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Kostyuk, Navarro. I don't know much about Navarro on the grass. I'll have Kostyuk.
I'll go Navarro because Kostyuk's in your top 10.
Yep, I thought as much. And Kasatkina against the Jabeur conqueror, Jin Wang. That's not fair, is it? I mean, she knocks out Jabeur, and then Jabeur gets Dollarhide.
Yeah, an easier match.
She gets Kasatkina. That's a nightmare. I think she loses probably to Kasatkina.
Agreed, yeah.
And then we got Gauff at the bottom. There you go. Nice short draw, but it is a nice compact but stacked draw.
This top half is so stacked.
Yeah, it's
the
nasty.
top half is a lot better than the bottom. Coco Gauff is rubbing her hands together here. I'll have Saba beating Kenin, Rybakina beating Tomova, Paolini beating Jabeur, Vekic Keys. I'm going Keys.
Keys Schneider on my one. I think Keys, she's good on the grass though. So yeah, I would go with that as well.
We've got the same players from the top. And then I'll have Andreeva beating Anisimova.
I might go for Anisimova. just because she's been in better form. I haven't seen what Milanjeva's been up to on the grass. Maybe I should have a quick check now before I embarrass myself. I tend to do that a fair
Nothing.
bit.
Nothing, mate.
Well, there you go. So that's why it'd probably be a good pick. Right, moving down. Pegula, last year's champ against Samsonova. I think she was a previous champion as well. Was she not? Let me just check. Yeah, back in 2021.
Yeah, for me, it's all the seeds. I think we're having more or less the 1 to 8 in the quarterfinals. The only difference I'm going to have is Rebecca at the top, who's not a seed. Apart from that, all of the seeds I think will advance in Berlin.
I'm gonna have
And the
Samsonova.
draw's quite nice for it.
Samsonova to beat Pegula. Battle of the past champions.
That's where you've gone different to me with Samsonova.
Badosa knocking out Kostyuk, I think. It's tough to pick. And then Gauff at the bottom.
Okay. So back to the top. Saba, Rebecca. I'm going to be going for Saba.
I'm going to be going for Rebecca. I still think that Saba is a tough match if she plays Kenin as well, because I think she's had a close match against her fairly recently. Kenin's not an easy player when she's playing her best tennis, and she could just, I don't know, maybe get a set. It's possible.
Saba. No, Keys to beat Paolini.
I'm going to go Paolini to beat Keys.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
More consistent, I think. He's a bit wild. She could be one of those matches where she just fires 50 unforced errors.
I'm going to go Pegula to beat Andreeva.
And
Gauff to beat Badoza.
Yeah, Gauff at the bottom as well.
So many Americans, really.
Yeah.
And I'm having 3 out of the 4 semi-finalists being American. They've had a really good year, if you think about it. Keys winning the first slam, Gauff winning the second slam. We're secretly not speaking about the fact that the Americans on the women's have dominated the tour.
They're taken over.
There's so many of them as well. And I mean, you could make a case that Pegula wins this event.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But I'm going to have Gauff beating Pegula. But I'm not sure. I'm quite torn on it. And at the top, Sabalenka Keys.
I've got Paolini Rebecca now. So it can only go one way, can't it?
It's got to be Paolini there.
It'll be Paolini.
Who would you go between Sabalenka or Keys?
Probably Saba.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Saba. That gives me the 1-2. So Sabalenka versus Coco Gauff for the final, the 1-2.
And I'll have Gauff versus Paolini in my one.
I think it's going to be the same result. I'm going to have Coco Gauff defeating Sabalenka again in the final. If we get it, I think it will go that way.
Yeah, I think that she has a nicer draw, and I think that does help. And it's proved already in Roland Garros, when you've got a nicer draw, she comes out on top. And I think it will be the same case again. And going into Wimbledon, she'll look like maybe the hot favourite. How crazy would that be?
Yeah, in terms of wild card, I can't really give one because all of my players are pretty much the seeds or the big names. I guess in terms of unseeded, because surely it's just an unseeded player for this one, it'd have to be Rebecca. If she's unseeded for this event, which is insane, she can go and win this one.
Yeah, that is insane.
And she is the player who you want to avoid for Wimbledon. A champion there, someone who's great on the grass, someone who on her day is a top 3 player in the world. So I think Rebecca is the most dangerous player in any event on the grass. Why she's currently unseeded.
Definitely, I would agree with that. One everybody wants to avoid. Let's speak quickly about Nottingham, just because that's going on at the same time. And I would say something quite harsh, but when the number 1 seed at the events had Admire, I don't really think that the level is quite the same as this event, do you? But we can have a look down the draw. And the one that really stands out to me that I'm looking out for in this match, or in this tournament, is Hannah Klugman, which is the young Brit. She's got a wild card into the event, and she's up against Putintseva in the first round. She got to the final of the junior Roland Garros. She got absolutely battered in the final. She was playing somebody who actually plays pretty well on the main tour, I think, though. But they're just quite young. But she got to the final. But I'm excited because on the grass courts, the Brits come alive. And I'm hoping she can get through this tournament, because if she can get through Putin-Sava, could be a little run in there for her.
Yeah, and as much as you're saying it's not the best tournament, there's some really good young talents. We've got
Yes.
Alexander Yala, Clara Towson, Leila Fernandez, and Sonne Cartel, the Brit, who will be playing early doors. The other British player, who is, let me just bring it up, not Harriet Dart. Who's the other British player, Ben? Katie Boulter, of course. The name just went out of my mind.
Who's
And
you?
Katie Boulter is now no longer the British number one for the women's. It is Raducanu.
Ah, interesting. Didn't know that.
I'm just going to do the bracket for you to tell you who I think is going to win.
Yeah, go on.
It might surprise you. I've done it already.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
Will it surprise you?
It probably will surprise me.
I'm going to have Leila Annie Fernandez winning.
It doesn't surprise me.
I've just done it, and I think the draw's all right. I'm having Leila Annie Fernandez winning Nottingham.
So where is Iala in the draw? Because that's quite an interesting name. Okay, that's probably slightly better. Is it towards the bottom of the draw? Let me just have a look.
I don't know.
Towson's in there.
It's not the highest of levels.
And Tatiana Maria's in there as well. So you got Leila Fernandez. That could be a second round match. Tatiana Maria in good form.
Yeah, Leila's going to beat her.
Yeah, if you're a Brit, exciting tournament because, like you said, lots of young talent on show, and hopefully we get a Brit go far.
And I want to see what Ayala's like on the grass courts, because since she burst through, beating Iga in that tournament and having a great event, not really lived up to the level yet. So there's a lot of hype from the Philippines. We were quite excited by her, and interested to see how she now adapts to the grass courts. But let's wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and let us know, who do you have winning Berlin? Do you agree with Ben that Coco Gauff has a nice draw? Do you think she's going to go on and win? Do you think Saba's going to get some revenge? Or could it be another player altogether? Could we see a Rybakina or a Mira Andreeva, someone who's had a fantastic year this year, do the business?
Yeah, or maybe even Jasmine Paolini claiming another title.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.